Ready.
Announcement is made that adequate notice of this meeting has been given and that is being conducted in accordance with NJSA 10:4-6 at the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act. Nora, please call the roll.
Mr. Berkowitz.
Here.
Mr. Jaskowitz.
Here.
Mr. Kaplan.
Here.
Mr. Reddy.
Present.
Snyder. Here. Mr. Willens.
Here.
Chairman Irakane.
Present.
We also have our board engineer, Mr. Holloway, and our board attorney, Mr. Kent.
Present.
Start off with the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this point in this evening's meeting, is there any member of public has that business to be brought to this board that is not on this evening's agenda? I see none. We have correspondence from May de los Santos withdrawing her application. Do we need a resolution on that?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'll draft the resolution.
Okay, should we have somebody
Make a
make a motion?
motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, so you'll do that. Resolutions, who can vote?
And Mr. Chairman, we do have another resolution. It's Shri Parsippany Developers LLC. It's the Topgolf application.
Yes. Okay, let's go first with, application 2145, Berkowitz, Jaskowitz, Kaplan, Reddy, Snyder. All right, who wants to, move?
Second, Jaskowitz.
Any discussion? Nora, call the roll.
Berkowitz.
Yes.
Jaskowitz.
Yes.
Kaplan.
Yeah.
Reddy.
Yes.
Snyder. Yes. Willens.
Yes.
Irakane.
Application 2020,
What have we done?
who wants to move that one?
Jaskowitz.
Snyder.
Thank you. Any discussion? Nora, call the roll.
Berkowitz.
Yes.
Jaskowitz.
Yes.
Kaplan.
Yes.
Reddy.
Yes.
Snyder. Yes. Willens.
Yes.
Irakane.
Yes. And then, 2255, that's withdrawn?
It's approval to withdraw, that was the same as last one. Yeah.
Right.
That was withdrawn.
Yeah, both are.
Motion to, move that resolution?
So moved.
Second, Snyder.
Any discussion? Nora, call the roll.
Berkowitz.
Yes.
Jaskowitz.
Yes.
Kaplan.
Yes.
Reddy.
Yes.
Snyder.
Yes.
Willens.
Yes.
Irakane.
Yes. Application 2250, Shri Partners, Parsippany Developers. That's the, Topgolf application.
Yes.
Is there a motion to that?
Moved. Second.
Any discussion? Nora, call the roll.
Jaskowitz.
Yes.
Kaplan.
Yes.
Reddy.
Yes.
Willens.
Yes.
Irakane.
Yes. Okay, resolutions are done, correspondence is done. Applications. First application is application 2248, Peter. Oh, I love that name. Did anybody see the name of the superintendent of schools who resigned?
Yeah, I
to
saw
that thing? His name is, I think they had 97 letters in his first name.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Could you raise your right hand? You swear affirm testimony about to give before the board is true self you got?
Yes.
And for the record, you're Peter Sylvansius?
Yes.
And you're the owner of the subject property? You're the owner of the subject property?
Yes.
Okay, you're sworn. You can have a
You
seat.
guys can sit down, use the microphones when you testify. And you are seeking, you want to legalize a 124 square foot shed, existing yards and courts, side yard 2.7, allowed 6, and proposed 2.7.
Greg Troutman representing Peter Sylvansius.
Okay?
So, Mr. Sylvansius has this shed. The shed's been there for over 30 years, I'd say. Is that right?
There's been a shed on the property for that long.
Right.
This shed's been there for about over 10 years.
And the shed has been there. There's no garage on the property, no detached garage, correct?
No.
And there's no garage attached to the house, correct?
No.
And you use the shed to store what generally?
Yardy goods, my son has equipment in there.
Your son,
He has cerebral palsy, yes,
and you use it for the wheelchair items and things like that?
different things, yes.
And if you were to move the shed from there, your yard is rather small, correct?
Yes,
And this is a location that suits the yard and the house, in keeping with the neighborhood, is that right?
absolutely.
And the neighbors, there was, years ago, there was a problem with one of the neighbors. That neighbor was a renter next door, correct?
He was the owner's boyfriend.
And that, they have since moved,
They've
correct?
been long gone, yes.
And the person who's there now has indicated that she has no problem whatsoever with that shed being there, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. And nobody else has indicated any problem with the shed, correct?
No,
And we've provided notice as required for this shed. So we're just asking that the shed, that there's always been a shed on this property, that we be allowed to maintain the shed. It's in good condition. There's no garage that would enable him to, otherwise he'd have outdoor items stored outside under a tarp or something like that.
my house is 800 square feet.
It's a rather new shed, it looks nice, there's always been a shed on the property, and it, you know, with his son being disabled, he uses it for a wheelchair and things like that.
Where was the prior shed on this property?
Right, same exact spot.
So why are you here?
Yeah, why are you here? If
Why are
the
you here?
shed's been there for 21 years, you didn't expand it, you did nothing to it, it's in good shape. Why are you here?
Excuse me?
Why are you here?
When there was a problem with the neighbor before, the neighbor was making constant complaints, and I think that property received notices of violations, and at the same time, they looked and they said, well, this shed is too close to the line.
It started with this tree, that's where it started.
So what?
Their tree that was on that property was damaging my cars. I parked there on my driveway. The tree was dying. I asked them to cut the tree down.
So,
These people were just idiots, my neighbors.
as a consequence of
Right,
neighbor disputes, violations were issued to the house next door, and then he received this violation. So in order to clean up the encroachment on the setback, that's why we're here to correct what had always been there, but we had to do this.
When did those neighbors move out?
They moved out about a year and a half ago, wasn't it?
Okay.
about a year ago, yeah.
Okay.
Well, you're in the R4 zone, which is a minimum lot size of 6,000 square feet. As best as I can tell, you exceed 6,000 square feet.
On the
So,
lot size.
what's that?
On its lot size.
Yeah.
On the lot size. So, you know, there is a little negative there. But I just want to bring that out. But on the other hand, as long as your next door neighbor doesn't, whoever there now is not complaining about it or not?
You can't even see the shed.
In fact, there's
The height of his fence is higher than the shed.
And a lady contacted me who lives in that house now. I
Mhm.
forget her name, but she contacted me when we sent that notice out,
Mm-hmm.
thinking I was suing her or
Oh,
something.
jeez.
And I explained to her what this was about, and she said, absolutely not. She said, oh, that's the man with the son who's disabled. I said, yes. She explained how nice everybody was, and she had no problem whatsoever, and that was that conversation.
Any other questions by the board?
Nope.
Any members of the public have any questions of this witness on the testimony given this evening? Hear none and see none, you don't want to add anything else?
No, thank you.
Are there any members of, members of the public who wish to speak in opposition to this application, in support of this application? I hear none and see none. What's the comment, guys? It's de minimis, it's de minimis, right?
Yep, the minimus.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody frame a resolution?
Sure, application 22:48, Peter Selensavicius, 50 Aldine Road, Block 340, Lot 8, Zone R4, recommend granting a C variance to legalize the shed contrary to section 430-10C.
Second one.
Any discussion, nor call the roll?
Berkowitz.
Yes.
Jaskowitz.
Yes.
Kaplan.
Yes.
Ready.
Yes.
Snyder.
Yes.
Willens.
Yes.
Hurricane.
Yes. Results of variance is granted. We'll memorialize this in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
And then
Thank you
you'll
very
be-
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care now.
Good luck.
Application 2222, Sandeep Mehta, 7 Erica Way, C variance to legalize a paver patio and others.
Sir, could you raise your right hand? You swear affirm testimony about to give before the board is true self you got?
Yes.
And for the record, you're Sandeep Mehta?
Yes.
You're the owner of the subject property? Yes. Thank you, sir. You can have a seat. Please speak to the microphone.
Well, it's gonna take me quite a while to go through all these variances. Fences and walls, fence height 9 feet, 6 feet is allowed. Accessory side yard gravel, 1 feet, 6 feet is allowed. Accessory rear yard patio, 0 feet, 10 feet is allowed. Plan and design standards, 34 feet, 24 is allowed. Plan and design standards, driveway setback, 9 feet, allowed is 5 feet. Impervious coverage, 77.07, allowed is 40%. So tell me, Mr. Mehta, which one of these things are you going to remove?
So I'm removing the gravel on the side, in the front and the back, about 1269 square feet. So that brings down the impervious coverage to 1105. And to mitigate the 1105, we are putting in a driveway.
Is as per the engineering,
As per the engineering recommendations,
Okay.
yeah. I worked with Justin and Brandon. And then,
so you want to be in compliance with the engineering report?
yeah, absolutely.
You agree?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
I'm sorry, I was reading this latest memo we got from Mr. Lizza. Can you repeat what you're going to mitigate this, and what are you gonna
So,
remove?
I'm going to remove the gravel on the left side, the right side,
Okay, and how many square feet is that?
1269.
Okay,
1,269. We are going to remove the gravel.
okay,
That brings down the impervious to 1105.
right,
And for the 1105, we are going to put in a dry well as per recommendations from,
Okay.
from the engineering office.
Do we know what percentage that comes up being?
So I think after I remove it, it goes down to 55 or 58% coverage.
these houses were built in the entire building envelope. There was no room for additions on these properties.
How long, what all this, coverage did you put in recently? Or has it been there for a while?
So the pathway has always been there.
The which?
There's a pathway on the right
Yeah,
side of
right,
the house
okay.
and the
Yeah.
left side of the
Yeah,
house, which
yeah.
was always there before I bought it.
See that?
I put in, stones on the side
Mhm.
where I have like, shrubs and trees just to make it more beautiful. But.
With the gravel?
Gravel.
Gravel. That
Big
is,
stone and gravel.
water
Yeah.
goes in.
But that comes under impervious, so I'm gonna remove that.
And then in the back where your patio and that goes right to the property line? Yeah, backyard,
3 feet, yeah, on the side, inside, yes.
No, but not to the back.
oh, in the back, it's right on the property line, it looks like, according to the plan.
On the right-hand
Yes,
side.
yes. On the back side, yes.
That's been there forever?
No, that extension we did because there was a pit there, a huge pit where water used to fill up and we have dogs. So we covered it up and, put a patio, but I believe that is again impervious, right?
Impervious,
So for that, we're putting in a drywall on the side, on the right side.
You're not taking any of that out, though?
We are not taking the patio out. I spoke with the engineering office, they said just remove the gravel on the
Okay.
sides and the front, and we'll let the patio be there, put a drywall and you should be good.
Can you make this out?
And your neighbor hasn't complained? You have a neighbor in the back of you there?
We spoke with all the
Yes,
neighbors, the engineers came, we spoke with the neighbors on either side, on both the sides and the back. They have no objection.
Okay. No, I did, met with them in their property.
Yeah, he also,
And, they have no issues. Okay.
Where's the dry well going?
so looking to the front of the house on the left back, on the on the left side of the patio, looking to the front of the house.
And
On Erica Way, you mean, looking at it from Erica Way?
Yeah, looking at from Erica,
Yeah.
it's on the right side.
The engineer.
Looking towards Erica,
Did
it's
he
on
say
the
about
left.
the fence, does he? I don't think so.
and why do you need a 9-foot fence?
Did he say anything about the fence?
So it's a 6-foot fence, but the 3-foot is a fall, it's like green leaves.
Actually, that is, your backyard neighbor put it,
Yeah,
right?
he put it, yeah.
He
So-
put
It's
it
just
for
mentioned there,
the
it's
plant
not-
growth or something, some creepers.
Say that one more time?
So there's a 6-foot fence,
You have a 6-foot fence on your property.
yeah, and the
Okay.
neighbor, he has put 3 foot on top, it's a fall
Of
fence,
your fence?
it's his fence.
Why
And he has
we,
put a 3-foot fall, green leaves, and it's a see-through, like you can see through it.
But
So
you
I'm
have,
here-
you have no standing to legalize it,
Yeah.
it's not on your property,
Right.
so.
Why do you need a variance? If it's not yours?
It's not your fence.
it's not,
It's not my fence, no.
so, why are we considering it?
You can't.
Yeah,
I mean, so the town engineer, when he came, he just put it there, and I said, this is not my fence.
But it's on your application,
yeah.
Yeah, so
you have
he,
to legalize a 9-foot fence.
Maybe he saw everything and whatever is not,
yeah, when the
In
officer came,
conformance.
he just saw all of this and just put it on.
whatever.
But your testimony is you do not have a 9-foot fence on your property?
No,
Okay.
Okay. That can be removed.
So once you wrote it up, you didn't know that that was somebody else's farm.
Actually, there's a note at the bottom, applicant is proposing legalizing the 9-foot fence over the property line onto the rear of neighbor's property.
Actually,
we
they
can't do
said
that.
they can remove that one.
he said,
When I was
if
there.
I have objection, he's willing to remove it, I have no objection.
Oh.
I mean, do we really legalize?
You can't legalize it.
I'm laughing
legalize it
because
in-
we had an application where I wanted a really big fence that had reason to have a big fence, and we
Oh,
didn't do that.
so-
So why would we do it
We have
here?
to Find out whose property it is.
Is the neighbor's fence on your property?
It's not.
It's his property,
So it's his property,
it's his property, his fence.
right? Then why was it in the application to begin with?
So the engineer, when he came, he saw all of this and put it in, I think, and it's part of that.
So is it an optical illusion where if you look at the fence, it looks like it's one fence, but it's actually two?
No.
No, it's
Only one.
it's the fall fence, it's the green fall with leaves on top of the 6-foot fence. There's poles on it.
There's one fence not on your property, it's on your neighbor's property.
Yeah.
You do not have a 9-foot fence on your property.
No,
So you have a 6-foot fence on your property.
I don't have any fence, it's his
Got it.
fence.
So he's gonna withdraw that, you're gonna withdraw that
Okay, now I get
request
it.
from the
Yeah.
applicant.
Okay, that's out.
Yeah.
Top of this like.
But it's not his no matter what.
What's with the drive?
I would say that the question about the fence, I mean, it's shown on the survey. If anything, that means that the adjoining property is encroaching onto this
Yeah,
property.
that was what I was.
The fence is on his property,
Yeah, back in
Who's
the.
his?
back
Well,
left
on the
hand corner.
applicant's property?
Well, in the corner.
No, my neighbor's property.
No, the
not
survey
yours.
definitely shows it on your property. So it's, like,
Chaz, it looks like
foot over.
it looks like it's two fences, there's one that runs up
Yep.
the left side, and a little bit to the back, which is on his property, and then it looks like the fence of the neighbors
Yes.
is definitely on his property, but it doesn't look like it comes over that property line.
Yeah.
So when I bought this house, it was all there. I didn't do anything.
So I would say it's an encroachment of the neighbors
Yeah,
onto this property.
To the left, right?
Right.
yeah.
Tell him you have a problem with it and take down the other 3 feet.
Yep.
That's not straight.
Take down the, you don't even need it. I don't even,
The fence is not straight.
No,
Yeah,
doesn't
it
show
is.
No, it
straight
doesn't
here.
look it.
no, it
Not
looks like
straight.
it was.
What was the decision on the patio? The patio is gonna stay as is?
Yeah.
The fence, we don't have to worry about. The accessory side yard, we're gonna deal with. The accessory rear yard patio, we're gonna leave alone.
Yeah.
The driveway width, 24 feet. That doesn't sound like an excessive driveway. Did you expand the driveway?
On the, yes.
You expanded it.
Yes.
By how many feet? What was it originally, 20 feet?
It was 20 feet, I expanded by 3 feet. 2.5 to be precise.
what's the driveway setback from the, I don't get that.
Driveway width,
Chaz, what is driveway setback? What does that mean?
It normally means from the property line. Or, hold on a second.
Says it's-
Is it from the, side yard setback, Chaz?
what says existing?
But it's more
Yes,
setback than
the
those.
driveway has a 5-foot setback from the side property line.
But he's nine,
Yes,
it says
that's
he's
my
9
understanding.
feet back, so why
Right,
is that even an issue?
Right.
Am I
Is he
Am I
proposing-
misunderstanding
No,
that?
Well, is
that's
he
.9.
trying- But then it says
gravel.
proposed 1 feet. Does that mean he wants to expand it?
Oh, he's proposing 1 feet, I'm sorry.
Wait a second, I'm confused. Allowed is 24 feet, right? Am I at the right place?
No, we're on the next one.
Next one.
Oh.
How are you proposing if it's already existing?
So are you reducing the width of the,
No, I'm not doing anything.
I'm just saying that I'm
The
showing.
24-foot wide driveway, do you have a curb cut that goes that full 24 feet? Is it, can you drive every car right up like this, or is the curb?
There is a curve. So I have a 20-foot driveway. It's a
Well,
20
according to this, you have a 34-foot driveway.
No, like on the road. Exactly on the road, is it widened up to 24 feet?
No.
No, only inside.
inside.
But the driveway is 34 feet. That's what it says, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah,
No,
yeah.
20.
It says existing, 34 feet. Is your driveway bigger than everybody else's in
No.
the neighborhood?
Absolutely not.
I mean, I've got a wide driveway, mine's 20 feet wide.
So what does this say?
It's 20.
Yeah, usually.
That's
Existing 34, proposed 34.
This
Yeah.
is the original driveway.
The two-car
Yeah.
garage.
Did one
that-
like this.
But these driveways aren't deep,
And
so you
this.
can't hold more than one
Oh,
car,
maybe-
or 2 cars in the driveway.
Maybe the gravel where you
Oh, yeah.
plant,
so the gravel,
where you
yeah.
put plants and all, he is also considering
Yes,
as,
yes, that's
maybe
what,
that
we are
is the
going to
reason.
remove that. So
On
here's
the
concrete
left,
gravel.
left side, Chairman,
That's another 9 feet.
There's
Yeah.
gravel alongside the driveway,
left side.
Yeah.
so you're gonna remove that?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take that one out.
And that would make it the 34 feet.
Actually, even
No,
if,
that would make it 24 feet.
even if you leave also, that is, it's a plants and,
It's
For what?
all
plants
the gravel
and
there.
trees.
This is the impervious coverage, so it's the width of the driveway.
actually, it's not pavers like this. This is like, oh, it's all gravel.
So what we're saying is, it's 34 feet now because he included the gravel.
Yeah,
You're taking the gravel out, and it's gonna go back to the original
Original size.
24 feet.
24 feet, okay.
But then to the right, you have pavement.
Okay.
No, right side is going to keep it. Right side of the driveway, there
Yeah,
are
it needs a
two,
variance of
two or
20
2.5 feet. that-
Yeah, then I'm going to keep.
That only left
On the left
side.
side, I'm going to remove all the gravel.
Yeah, left side.
So he needs a
All right,
variance for
so the
1 foot.
fence is out, the side yard gravel out,
The left side.
rear yard's staying. The 24 feet is okay, we're not taking out the 2
We're
sides.
taking
We're
out
only
the 9
One-
feet.
9 feet, so that
feet.
brings that down to 25 feet, so that's doable.
Yeah.
The plan and design standards driveway setback, which I don't understand.
I don't
Oh, yes,
either.
I do, 1 foot, okay.
That won't be 1 foot anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gravel's gone. It's gonna be
Okay,
it's gonna be
so
whatever it is.
that's good, that's okay. And how many square feet are you taking out?
1269, 1269, 1,269.
1,269, and your lot coverage your lot is 6,403. 6,403. 64.
That's about 25%. 20%.
Yeah.
So the total is between 55
He's
and...
putting 20% back in, so it takes it down to about 57.
Putting 20% back in?
Yeah.
Why, what, for what?
Well, the 1269 is becoming pervious.
Yeah. 20% will be pervious.
Divided by 6,403 equals 19.66.
About 20%, yeah.
That's what I said.
So that takes it up to,
So
it's about
it takes-
58.
so we'll be down to 57. Okay. All right. Any other questions by the board?
Why are you unwilling to move off the fence in the back? Which would do two things. It would get you off the property line and it would reduce the impervious coverage.
Put the fence,
No, pull your pavers back.
Off the
Where you
property
put the
line.
pavers in to cover the grass area you had with the dogs, you said you had a swale back there?
Yeah.
You covered that in with pavers.
yeah.
Pull them back.
You might have to remove those.
No, the dry walls, is
Pull it
proper-
back. There's too much impervious coverage. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna vote for this with the impervious.
So you did that work yourself? You put those pavers in yourself?
Yeah.
How long ago?
Yes.
How long ago?
3 years ago.
Without any permits or anything?
No, it said, yeah, no permit.
You're probably gonna have to remove some of those. What hardship would that cause you if you had to remove those? Because this impervious coverage is still way too high.
I mean, you want me to remove the patio, a part of patio on the back?
The part that goes right to your property line is and that's impervious coverage problem. Can you take out some of that as well?
What is the depth of that patio?
Pretty deep.
Yeah, it's pretty deep.
It's the whole backyard.
Pretty deep, is that?
How big, how big are the pavers? Are they like
It's a regular
Anybody
I
have
don't
a?
see any, numbers.
feet by,
each paver is how big?
size of a brick.
Okay.
Okay, so,
Are the pavers sealed?
Yes.
It's sealed.
With polymeric sand, the permeable polymeric sand, that's what we put between the pavers.
Yeah, they're impervious.
So that's part of the problem. If you put it on
They're
regular
definitely
sand,
impervious.
the water would be going down. So that's a problem. So what do you want to remove?
Back up from the property line, but back,
Chaz, can you scale that? Do you have any idea how much that is? Give us your professional estimate of how deep that patio is?
I was looking at the survey, it doesn't give us that.
There's no dimensions on the survey.
No.
What are those four
holes?
Those 4 boxes, what is that?
So that is gravel, it's trees, and we will remove that.
What's that?
So we have 4 trees in the back,
Right,
and we have put gravel around the trees.
okay.
And we spoke with the engineering office, and they said remove the gravel as well, and that should cover you. So we are removing the green you see in the back.
I don't see any color.
No, so I think I'm not gonna speak for my fellow panelists here, but it seems as though, would everybody be okay if he removed the pavers from the back of those boxes?
Yeah, so I
From
was
back
looking at
access to
that.
the fence.
So if you look at the
Right.
patio, on the left side, there's a white square. Right?
Yeah.
And that's where that line starts. I would just draw that straight across.
Yeah, that
up
makes sense to
going
me.
up,
Mhm.
And then you're done.
Yes.
Yeah, based on where the fence is being 1 foot back, look, eyeballing it, it looks like it's 3 or
3
4
feet?
feet.
Yeah, so I think Dave is right on. If you square it up from that white box, go right, a couple of feet, it's probably 3 feet, you take it out, it makes the numbers even
In the
better.
back up to here,
Right.
So it looks like you would take out 2 or 3 rows of pavers along the fence.
Correct.
from back to this area.
So I'm removing, as per the engineering office, we are removing the pavers as well from here.
Yeah.
The green boxes.
Yep,
we are-
got it, okay,
we are
good.
removing the
No,
pavers.
behind the green,
Yes.
those things.
Okay.
Yeah,
You agree?
Yep.
Okay.
Good.
How many, so what is that, about 2 feet?
2 to 3 feet.
3 feet to
That moves away from the property line, which is good. Reduces the impervious coverage by another 8%, I would say.
Okay.
Well, I think we need to have a consensus on exactly how many square feet it is. So if we approve the variance, and before
Yeah.
Peter,
That's what it
put something into the resolution, we have to have a,
Chaz, do you
Closer
think we're
number,
3
right?
feet off the back line?
At least, yeah, 3 feet, it's like a good
Okay,
estimate.
so let's do 3 feet off of the line.
So would that be 50%? You know, he's allowed 40, you allow him to, go to 50%, 10% more?
I don't think that's unreasonable. don't
I
know
think
what
that makes
everybody
sense to me.
else
We've done a lot already.
Yeah, and he's doing the dry well to make up for the other 10.
Yep.
So that makes sense, Chairman.
thinks. Anything else from the board? Chaz, you're okay?
Yes.
Any members of the public have any questions of this witness on testimony given this evening? I hear none and see none. There's nothing else you'd like to add, right? Okay. Any members of the public who wish to speak in opposition to this application? In support of this application? I hear none and see none.
I just want to say that the dry well is proposed, but there's always a plan B if the soil is so bad. If it turns out to be clay and the dry well is not going to work, they have to come up with something else, a piping system or something to that effect.
There is clay in that
They have to
area.
Analyze the soil.
Clay, yeah.
That clay is clay in that area.
Engineering,
There's clay in my backyard too, man.
okay. Engineering, we will approach the engineering report.
Okay. Somebody make a recommendation based on what the applicant has been willing to concede to?
Well, should we let Peter
Yeah.
write it up
So-
in
so
the
he-
appropriate manner?
Yeah, so what he has agreed to, he's agreed to remove all the gravel on the left and the right-hand side of the property. He's going to amend the application to take out the request for the 9-foot fence. If the
Mhm.
fence isn't on his property, he has no standing to request that. He's also going to remove approximately 3 foot of pavers in the back, and he's going to remove, in removing that, the impervious coverage is going to be granted is 50%, which allowed is 40%.
Plus the condition of working with the
Engineer with
Engineer.
regard to the dry wells,
dry well or whatever's needed.
that's correct.
Okay? So,
So we're gonna, I want a resolution authorizing, the attorney to draft.
So moved.
second Jaskowitz.
Yeah, we'll,
Is there a second?
Jaskowitz.
Any discussion? Nora, call the roll.
Berkowitz.
Yes.
Jaskowitz.
Yes.
Kaplan.
Yes.
Ready.
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
Willand.
Yes.
Hurricane.
Yes. Results of the variances are granted. We'll memorialize this at our next meeting. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okey dokey. Application 2262, Robert Greenfield, 145 Lakeshore Drive. C variance to construct a detached garage.
Sir, if you raise your right hand, you swear affirm testimony about the report to yourself you got. For the record, you are Mr. Robert Greenfield, owner of 145 Lakeshore Drive. I think you're sworn, if you have a seat, please speak into the microphone. Mr. Chairman, the witness is been sworn.
I assume that's Lakeshore Drive in Parsippany, not Lake Hiawatha?
Yes.
So, your accessory yard, side yard is 3 foot, you're allowed 5 foot, 6 foot, I'm sorry, and you're proposing 0.5 feet. Yards and courts open deck, 31.97 existing, 24 allowed, 36.18 proposed. Building covers, 24.48, existing, 20% allowed, 28.68 proposed, impervious coverage, 41.53, 40 allowed, and you're proposing 45.73.
Sir, if I may, I'm not exactly sure how those numbers came about. It's probably my poor math skills. I currently have a standalone shed on that site that measures approximately 10 by 10 by 16. 10 high, 10 wide, 16 long. The only adjustment I'm looking for is just to make it longer, keeping the height and the width the same. I took a measurement today between the side of the shed and the fence. It's 3.5 feet, give or take an inch or two. I'm looking to keep that the same. The only thing I'm looking to change is the length.
So where it says 0.5 side yard,
I
you want,
really don't know where that came from.
you're proposing 3.5 feet,
Yes,
okay?
which is what's there now.
All right.
Is the shed on this survey?
Yeah, it shows this framed garage,
Oh, okay.
but that's the shed.
And
So you're just extending the frame garage by about double the width?
A little more,
Okay.
what's it used for? What's in there?
a lot of stuff. Yard care, lawn stuff, mostly the kids' crap. And hopefully eventually, my wife's junk too.
The bigger you make it, the more junk you accumulate.
That's true.
You have a single-story building, is it a ranch?
The house,
Oh,
it's a ranch, but it's got like a full basement.
oh,
not
a two-story.
So you're in an R4 zone, which is 6,000 square feet, and your lot is 8,000 square feet, but it's the position that is the problem.
Well, it's not just that, because the engineering memo talks about a significant issue with the increase of stormwater runoff.
It's over here.
Number 2.
Yeah. I don't see that letter. Okay.
Leaders, gutters
So,
on the
I have a question.
shed right now?
No, I don't think so. But I'm gonna take the whole thing down and put up a new structure.
With leaders and gutters?
Sure.
So you're amending this application from the existing 3 foot off the property line to a proposed 3 foot off the property line?
I'm not following.
Well, the application has, for your side yard, an existing 3 foot with the current shed.
Right.
Allowed is 6 foot,
Okay.
and you were asking for it to be 0.5 inches.
Yeah, I'm not really sure where that .5 came from.
Okay,
I've never
so
looked at
you're amending
0.5.
that to the 3 foot, because you
Yeah.
said you, okay. So the amendment to the side yard is existing 3 foot, allowed 6 foot, proposed 3 foot.
So the existing shed is how wide?
Little over 10 feet, like 10 feet, 3 inches.
And the new shed is,
It'll be exactly the same.
well, this says 12 and a half feet.
Yeah, I really don't know why it says that.
Well, it was your survey.
That you,
Oh, you know what, okay. Yeah, and that's, again, because apparently my math skills suck.
Oh,
well, but we want to base our decision on fact.
Right, I will have the shed company send over a revised, scale or picture, however, whatever you want to call it, to basically match what's there now, just making it longer, that's all.
So what you submitted to us is not going to be the size of the shed?
No.
Then how can we rule
So
it?
how can we approve
We
this?
can't. We can't, because even the engineer's report is based on .5 off the property line.
Well, he's just amended our application, so.
Here to here
I-
is 10 foot, and this,
No. He's
If you
talking,
approve it,
this is
you know, the
10 feet.
application is 3
He's
foot,
putting
you
it
gotta
over
keep it
half.
over 3
Right.
foot.
Say that again?
Number 2 addresses.
He's amended the application, so it's gonna be 3 foot off that property line. So if that's the resolution, it doesn't matter if he has a 50-foot wide shed,
Right.
he's gonna be in violation.
For that part of the application.
Yes, for that part.
What are the dimensions of this new shed?
10 by 10 by 40.
10 by 10 by 40? I'm not getting 500 square feet out of that, which is what we were told.
400,
That's a huge
400
shed.
square feet.
Right,
400.
and it's written as 500 square feet,
maybe 12.5 maybe.
which then could throw off the impervious, will throw off the impervious coverage.
They calculated 40 times 12 and a half, that's why 500.
12 and a half.
So he want to amend it to 10.
Yeah.
Is there a business run at the house, or is this just,
I have a business that I run, I had a house just on the side, but this is mostly just for storage of the yard stuff, kid stuff, and the wife stuff.
What is this business?
Computers, sales, repairs, and upgrades.
And you conduct none of it in the proposed garage?
No.
Okay.
Back to the engineer report, it was a man issue here, did you see the engineer's report?
Well,
Okay.
you know, we're going along here, and it's almost like we got a bunch of square pegs and round holes, because
You want to
the
review
the
engineer?
setback is different. The size of the shed just went from 500 to 400 square feet, right? I
Yeah.
think we need a whole new set of calculations,
I think you're
and,
100% right.
and based on the engineer's report, that the applicant make sure that he can control the water.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Control the rainwater.
Exactly.
If there was a picture or a elevation of the, showing the garage, and also if the garage was proposed to have roof leaders and gutters, that you might be able to direct it to, towards your house and/or the driveway to just control the water so it doesn't impact the neighbor.
And the engineer being satisfied with it.
So do you want like gutters coming down the side, going down to the driveway?
It sounds like it's into the ground.
Well, did you see this letter?
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Okay, you need to read that.
Actually, it doesn't say.
Well,
It does.
he needs to read that
Not
after
now.
it puts in the new numbers.
Right.
And see what the engineer says.
Yeah, not now.
Can you come back with the exact measurements and numbers for the shed that you're gonna put in, replan, so we have something we can read that's not being changed? Because everything's been changed here, we can't approve it to.
Okay. And I would give those to the engineer and say, can I have a new memo? I don't know if this is still applicable.
Yep.
Okay, you're gonna need to do that.
So how would I go about it? This is all new to me.
Okay.
So, us too.
Yeah. We have to approve an application and submit it. Right now, we've changed it, just about everything in the application is submitted, because it said that wasn't the right measurement, this is the wrong distance, yada, yada. We need an application with what your correct numbers are, which you would like us to approve, okay? And we'll see what.
When can we get them back?
April 19th.
April 19th is the next open date, and that'll give you a couple of months to get all your ducks in a row. You know, you may have to consult, what would it be, Chaz, an engineer with regard to the runoff, if it looks like it's gonna be,
I would wait until the township engineer looked at it.
somebody, a landscaper or some,
They would make the call, because there's no grades on here, so we can't tell if it's obvious the water's gonna, say, go down the driveway or whatnot, so that's the biggest concern I have, is that we don't have grades.
we don't have enough information again.
So you're looking for some kind of pitch?
No, we don't know, he says you'll have to mitigate any increased stormwater runoff. We don't know what that is yet, you don't know what it is yet either, so, one
I
sec.
know what that means.
Okay, so
Right,
what,
now, you have to show us that the stormwater is not going to impact the neighbors.
if what you're doing is gonna change the stormwater runoff from your property and impact the neighbor, you gotta show how you're gonna correct that. We don't know that's gonna happen, the engineer suggests it may. You need to suffice him, so we don't have this on here. You come back and say, it doesn't look like I have a stormwater issue with this new addition, here's my real measurements, and then we can look at an application we can approve.
With the right numbers.
April 19th.
Okay, motion to carry this case to April 19th?
So moved.
Second, Snyder.
Any discussion? That will be with, yes, this will be without further notice, and if we need to have a time extension, you're gonna have to, grant us a time extension, Mr. Greenfield.
Or do you need an extension?
Um,
Probably do, right?
I would say
So
probably.
you grant extensions,
Who
so
grant-
you'll grant us an extension so we can carry this for you?
So we have time to hear the case.
It's standard. Otherwise, we'd vote no tonight. I mean, it's the alternative, unfortunately. Okay, if there's any members of the public here, this is the only notification you will get that this case is carried to April 19th. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Application 2173, Rabi and Rahenda Amin. Preliminary and final site plan, CD variance to construct a multifamily residential building.
Arco.
Oh, you are for this application? Those two were. Oh. No, what
Well, don't need it.
Joe, how many witnesses do you have?
I have 3 witnesses.
Back witness, planner and engineer?
I have an engineer, an
Oh,
architect.
architect.
Nora, did they talk to the neighbor?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Joseph O'Neill of Garofalo O'Neill Ruggiero, here on behalf of the applicants, the Demines. This is for a multifamily home. When the application was first filed, it was for a 3-unit project. After comments with your professionals, that's been reduced down by 1 unit. With your permission, I'd like to begin by calling my engineer, Mr. Corson.
Sure.
Sir, you raise your right hand. You swear a firm testimony about to give before the board's true self you got.
I do.
And for the record, can you state and spell your name?
Peter Korzen, spelled Korz.
And your engineer?
Yes,
All your
licensed
license-
engineer and surveyor, my licenses are current and good standing.
And you've been sworn either before this board or other boards in the state of New Jersey?
I have.
Mr. Chairman, the witness has been sworn and qualified. Thank you.
Mr. Corson, I wonder if you could begin with your exhibits, walk us through the project.
Okay, this is the first plan I'll bring up. It's the boundary and topographic survey. It's sheet 2 of 6, and it's last revised January 7th, 2022. So the subject site is located on the south side of Halsey Road, approximately 60 feet west of Ludlow Road. It's located in the B4 zone district.
Speak a little louder. Keep the microphone closer to your face.
Yeah, it includes 3,900 square feet, and it's surrounded by properties also in the B4 zone. Immediately to the east, you have the martial arts studio. To the south is a dwelling in the B4 zone, and to the west is a strip retail center. The site currently contains a 1.5-story dwelling. In front of that is an asphalt parking area. In front of that is a paver walkway, and that leads out to the curb in Halsey Road. On the west side of the dwelling is an asphalt driveway, and that leads back to a detached garage in the back. To the east of the garage is an open area, which is primarily ground cover with one large tree. To the east is the building for the martial arts studio, and to the south is an attached garage to the dwelling. It is located right on the property line. And just off the property line to the west is the building for the strip retail center. Topography is flat. It generally sheet drains to the south and to the north from the center of the site. Existing utilities are overhead for electric, telephone, and cable. And there's also a sanitary sewer lateral in the front and a water service line in the front. At the time of the survey, field survey, gas was not marked out.
Is it proposed to reuse the connection?
Yes, I'll show that in the next plan. Actually, 2 plans. The first plan I'll bring up does not show utilities. It's the dimensioning plan. This is sheet 3 of 6. All of these will be last revised January 7th, 2022. So this plan shows the layout of what's proposed. It's a proposed 3-story condominium building. You can see the bold line here. Also, there is an asphalt driveway in the front with 2 parking spaces. There's the front entrance to the building with a walkway that's proposed to connect with the existing walkway on Halsey Road. In the back of the building are 2 doors which lead down to a gravel area which also contains AC units. Immediately to the west of the building is ground cover in between the proposed building and the strip retail center. And to the south and north of that are lawn areas. To the east of the building, in between that and the martial arts studio, is a gravel area which actually matches a gravel pathway that runs alongside the martial arts studio. While this plan is up, I'd like to call your attention to the zoning data table, which is on sheet 1 of 6 at the top right. And this indicates the variances that are required for the project. The first one is lot area. As I mentioned, it's 3,900 square feet. And in the B4 zone, the minimum lot area is 8,000 square feet. That is actually not a variance, so there's no change there. It's an existing non-conforming condition. Moving on down, I'm just going to hit the variances. The front yard setback to the building is proposed at 26.2 feet.
You said it's an existing, but you're going to raise the existing building, so wouldn't you have to conform to that?
if that's the case. I actually don't have it listed on my chart, but whatever's been noticed and recorded.
Because it's increasing. You're talking about the lot.
The lot area and lot width would remain the same.
Yeah,
The building was taken down.
understood.
Don't you need
You're
a variance
increasing.
to build on a 3,000 square foot lot if it's 8,000 square foot zone?
We'll discuss that later, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, I'll just run down and I'll hit the variances that are actually outlined in the chart. So the first one is the proposed front yard setback. That's 26.2 feet, and in the zone, 35 feet is the minimum required. That's the first one. The second one is for the side yard setback on the east side. That's the martial arts studio side. That's proposed at 3.1 feet, where 5 feet is required. However, the existing building is 3.9 feet. The third one is 8.1 feet for the rear yard setback. I'm sorry, the third one is for the combined side yard setback of 8.1 feet, where 15 feet is required. Fourth one is 8.0 feet for the rear yard setback, where 15 feet is required. The next one is for the building lot coverage. That's 1,999 square feet, which is 51.26% of the lot area. And the maximum permitted is 1,170 square feet, or 30% of the lot area. And the final one is for building height. It's listed as 3 stories. The maximum building height, as far as stories goes, is 2 stories. However, the building height in feet actually complies with the zoning requirements. 34.4 feet proposed versus 35 feet maximum in the zone.
What's the lot size in square feet?
3,900 square feet. So while this plan is up, I'll also direct your attention directly below the zoning data table is the parking requirements table on the same sheet, sheet 1. There are 2 exterior spaces for cars in front of the building, and you'll hear our architect describe the building later on, but there's 2 interior spaces as well. There's a total of 4 car spaces provided, and per RSIS for this type of building, which is 2 3-bedroom units, it requires 4 car spaces, so we are compliant with parking. Stall size also complies with the town requirement for size of parking area, which is 9 feet by 18 feet. These 2 exterior spaces exceed that. The 2 variances that are listed are actually existing non-conforming conditions. One of them has to do with the length of the curb cut in front of the property. It occupies the entire frontage of the property. It's 40 feet long. And the maximum permitted is 24 feet. However, I just wanted to point out that we're actually changing the interior asphalt. So once you get inside the property, the total width of that driveway area is actually less than what's required. It's 23.5 feet versus the 24. The final one is for the minimum setback of the curb cut from the property line. Since it occupies the entire frontage, it's 0 feet from the side property line, and 5 feet is required. So that covers the variances on sheet 1. And the final plan I'll bring up is the grading, drainage, and utility plan. This is sheet 4 of 6. To answer your question, we are going to be connecting the proposed sanitary into the existing sanitary sewer lateral and utilize it if possible at a clean out near Halsey Road. That's shown on the plan. There's also underground utilities that are proposed on the west side of the building, so the overhead electric, telephone, and cable will be replaced with underground. There is a fire service line and a domestic water service line in that area as well, and a gas line. This plan also shows some topography as far as spot elevations go. It respects the existing topography, so there is sheet drainage to the north and to the south from approximately the center of the lot. And there was also sheet drainage in the back from east to west as well.
The roof drainage goes where?
One thing that's not shown on this plan, and these plans were being drafted at the time of the 2021 ordinance for stormwater. So we are proposing, it's not shown here, would be a dry well system underneath the asphalt parking area in the front, which will take all of the roof runoff, subject to soil testing, of course. I think I mentioned that there is an existing tree in the back on the survey that's shown here. It's 29 inches. That'll have to be removed. And that pretty much covers my presentation. I'm open for questions at this point.
Will the other tree also have to be removed?
You know, that's a tough one. It's right on the property line. It may be impacted. We do have utilities coming into that side of the building. We'll have to see what happens there.
Are you replacing any vegetation?
There's really no opportunity other than lawn. We have a small strip of lawn here. Nothing would grow in between the buildings on the west side. Nothing would grow in the back in between the buildings, and same thing on the east side as well. Very limited.
Any questions by the board?
All this underground utility stuff and that, so you currently have above ground utility poles,
Yes,
and you're gonna take all them out and put it underground?
yes.
Is that gonna be your job, or is that the utility company's job?
Division of responsibility, I think it varies from utility company to utility company. I know the water we would be doing ourselves, sanitary would be doing ourselves. I want to say that they are responsible, the contractor, for the conduit and possibly JCP&L pulls the wire. I don't really know, to be honest with you.
Do those utility poles serve any other neighbors or any other business in the area?
It's out in the right of way, so I'm sure there's a wire that connects somewhere else from there. Yes.
Are you the expert to speak to the water allocation, or is that somebody else?
No, that's me. I know it's 1,500 gallons per day. We're nowhere near that. Even if you considered this as I mentioned, it's 2 3-bedroom units. So if you considered it 2 single-family homes, you're still not going to be anywhere near that. It's going to be 200 gallons per day.
So it'll be less use than what's presently.
Oh yeah, much less.
Are these for sale or for rent?
They're for sale.
For sale, condominiums.
Any other questions by the board? Any members of the public have any questions of this witness on testimony given this evening? Please come forward and identify yourself.
Mary Persicki, want to get my address?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mary Persicki at 273 Marcella Road in Lake Parsippany. Purzykyi. My question is this building going to be on the?
I need you to speak up.
Use the mic,
You gotta speak closer to the mic. You can take it out.
Is this building going to be on the original footprint of the original, with the structure that is there now? Or is it going to be bigger than the structure now?
Footprint.
The footprint.
The footprint will be larger.
The footprint would be larger?
Yes.
So you're going to knock the house down totally that is there now?
Yes.
And you're going to have enough front setback with the fact that there's a township right-of-way that has a sidewalk on it? Because what is going to be the dimension of the parking spaces lengthwise that would run into the street? Would it interfere with the sidewalk or not?
Not at all. To answer your first question, we do need a variance for the front yard setback. It's 26 feet and 0.2, I believe, back from the property line, and it's required to be 35 feet. However, the strip retail center is the same distance back, so we're kind of matching that. And as far as the parking spaces go, we actually exceed what's required. Normally, it's 18 feet long is the minimum length that's required, and we're proposing 26.6 feet long. So it's much longer than what's required, much longer than a car.
Much, by what, by how many feet?
Even if it's a very large car, that's an extra 6 feet.
An extra 6 feet, so it would be 6 feet from where the sidewalk is to where the car would be parked?
Actually, not from the property line, which is inside from the sidewalk. So it's even further from the sidewalk. It's even further.
Even further from the sidewalk? So if I park my car, there would be enough room and visibility for blind spots?
Oh, absolutely. On this road, in both directions, you're probably looking at in the neighborhood of 500-foot visibility as you back out. I'm talking about vehicles traveling down the road.
Yeah, because that's a very busy area. There's a I'm not allowed to say that, right? It's
Not
a
yet.
statement.
Not yet.
What condition is the
Presently,
curb and sidewalk?
I don't recall. It was a while before I was out there listening.
Is there any plan to have it replaced?
No, we were just proposing to leave it the way it is.
I would just replace it.
Chaz, a little louder, I just came here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes,
Please.
I would replace the sidewalk as part of the project. And you can evaluate the sidewalk curb, see if it's reasonable.
We'd agree to that, that's fine. We'll replace the sidewalk.
The sidewalk was put in by the township. It's on the township right away, isn't that correct?
That's times, it's installed by a developer. It's replaced when they install a driveway apron, even though that's in the right of way.
Even though that it's in the right of way?
Right. If it's right in front of the property.
Because presently speaking, there's not that much space between, I believe I'm asking a question, okay? There's not that much space between the existing building now and the karate place. So the distance, what would the distance be between the karate and the building itself? What are you proposing on the side, on the east side for a side yard?
Yeah, well, on the east side, the existing house was 3.9 feet from the property line, not from the karate building. It's greater than that to the karate building. But it was 3.9 feet, and this building proposed is 3.1 feet. So it's a little bit closer, but within reason.
Within reason. And is this going to have two-car garages? Is that the picture on the floor?
Yeah, we have a project architect that's going to fully describe the whole building, and you'll see all of that, but there are 2 car spaces inside, yes.
Because, and it is a 3-bedroom, 2 units are going to be built there. Is that correct?
Our next witness will get into those details.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's got the plan.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Any other member of the public have any questions of this witness? Hear none, see none. Next witness?
Thank you, Mr. Mystery.
Excuse me.
So raise your right hand, you swear firm testimony about to give before the board, so help you God? Yes, I do. And for the record, can you state and spell your name?
Yogesh Mistry, Yogesh-Mistry.
And you are a licensed architect,
Yes, I am.
and all your licenses are in full force and effect?
Yes, they
You've been
are.
qualified before this board and other boards in the state of New Jersey?
I have.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman, the witness has been qualified and also sworn.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Mystery, you have some handouts for us?
Yeah, I'd like to start with just a handout. It's a color,
Can you mark that as A1 for this evening?
yes. So Exhibit A1 that's being handed out is two color photographs taken off of, this is from, I think, the Google website, but showing the subject property with sort of a street view and then an aerial view on top. On both images, there's a designation for 162 Halsey, which is the subject property, sort of in the middle of the photograph of each. Just to give everyone context, these photographs kind of show what's happening. The subject property, 162 Halsey, there's an existing, I guess I would call it a dwelling, but I think at one point it was a shop, or ice cream shop or something like that, and the owner lived on the second floor, or the attic level, I guess. But you can see it's kind of run down, it's, you know, kind of deteriorated. In addition, this is kind of a weird zone. It's the B4, but sort of all around it is the residential zone, so it's kind of unique like that. But you can see there's kind of a sea of parking all along, sort of between Ludlow and Quaker Road on Halsey, because there's a strip mall to the right, and there's the karate studio to the left. So this is kind of a continuous strip of asphalt, which I think our project will help to at least break that up a little bit. So our project is essentially in line with where the front of the building is currently. We're actually pushing it back slightly, and we're going to be slightly behind where the strip mall to the right is. So that's kind of just laying the context there.
Let's mark that as A2 for tonight.
Sure.
We don't have that here, right, in color?
No, that's A2.
So, I'm just gonna mark this A2. This is a color rendering of the proposed proposed project. This is a rendering that was produced by our office. It's showing the proposed project right in the middle, and then to the right, you can kind of see part of the dance studio, and then to the left, you kind of see part of that karate studio. You know, our building's right in the middle. So what we're proposing is a brand-new building. It's a 2-unit condo building. Each unit will be 3 bedrooms. Just to kind of run through the plan, there's 2 garages on the ground floor, an entry to the right, and when you go up the stairs, the right kind of portion of the building is a stairwell. Second floor would house the first unit, the third floor would house the second unit. Just to run through square footages of the building. 1 second. The first floor is 1,945 square feet, and the upper levels are 1,823 square feet each, for a total of 5,591 square feet. In addition, there's 287 square feet of sort of balconies that are facing the front. Just gonna refer to my black and white floor plans that were submitted as part of this application. This sheet is A2.01, and these drawings are dated January 7th, 2022. Just to kind of walk you through the floor plan, the bottom right floor plan is the ground floor. There's 2 separate 1-car garages, 1 for each tenant, and then the common stair to the right of that. And behind it are just kind of 2 storage/utility spaces, each being used for each tenant. So when you come up the stairs, you come to the first unit. The second and third floor are essentially identical. Each unit is sort of a mirror of each other, or copy of each other. It's a 3-bedroom unit, living, dining, kitchen in the front, 2 bedrooms in the middle, and then the master bedroom in the back. We have 2.5 baths for each unit, and again, it's kind of a copy on the third floor. These are condos. What my client wanted to do was really create something that was sort of on the higher end side. They want something nicer. They want quality finishes. They want, you know, certain level appliances. I do want to just hand out another exhibit just to kind of show some interior images or sort of representation of what they're thinking of inside.
A3.
I'll mark this A3.
Was this subject to DCA, the condo? Do you have to get approval? Not for two, right, so over.
Is there an association?
There'll be a structure set up to accommodate that.
Yeah, so these are photographs, actually, they're taken from a sort of representative project that I've done on another site, but, you know, they want a certain level of quality, they want 9-foot ceilings here, they want individual HVAC units for each space, stainless steel appliances, granite countertops, generous windows and a balcony, so they do intend to sort of market this more of an upscale market, and, you know, that hopefully they get buyers that'll kind of meet this goal that they have. We do understand there's some variances here, and it's just a really tough site because of the size of the site. The 3,900 square foot lot size is really the kind of the most limiting factor. I think 8,000 square feet is standard in this zone, but you know, we're stuck with 3,900 square feet. The front yard setback, as mentioned, 35 feet is required. We're at 26.2. Again, I think we're improving what's here right now. It's 23 feet, and we're at 26.2 now. And it's still providing enough area for the cars to park in the front and still have enough space for the sidewalk. I think to the other comment that was mentioned before, there is a sort of a paver sidewalk, and I mean, I think it's still in good condition, but that's going to remain. Our property starts after that, so, you know, we're looking to maintain that sidewalk. We're not looking to reduce it or park on it.
On this photo, just help me clarify, so the current picture on this guy, it looks like the current structure is quite a bit further away from the shop on the right-hand side than your proposed structure, is that right? So
Yeah, currently, the guy on the right is almost right on the property line, but the existing structure does start a little further to the left.
So there'll be very little access through the sides of the buildings there? Can you still walk through there?
Yeah, there'll be 5 feet between here.
5 feet?
Yeah.
All right, and then the proposed parking, you have 2 parking places inside and 2 parking places outside?
Correct. One tenant would have 1 spot in the driveway and 1 in the garage, and same for the other two.
Do you need a sprinkler system?
Each one is a 3-bedroom unit. Correct.
Do you need a sprinkler?
I don't believe so for 2-family on this.
What about for 3-story?
No, I don't believe so. It would be
He's saying
violated
yes.
according.
We'll comply with all.
Yeah, well, if it is required, we'll have to put it in. That's a requirement of the building department.
This could just be, the way the picture reads, but I'm looking at that car pull into the garage. There's enough room to open the doors and get out.
Yes. I mean, I think on the floor plan, I do show a depiction of a vehicle.
I saw something on the other side, yeah.
Yeah, that is shown accurately to scale, but yeah, there would be space to, you know.
It doesn't even look like the doors would open all the way.
It'll be a little bit tight, but it just, you know, I mean, these lots are extremely tight, it's just,
And can you put, that, I forget what that was, A1 up again?
H2?
Sorry,
Yeah.
H2. Going down the right side of the proposed building, is that a big window there? On
That's the entry, that's the door.
Second floor, I guess?
This one?
Yeah.
There is a window from.
And is that just looking into the building next to it?
It would be close, but depending on the height, maybe part of the window's above, part of the window's below it. I'm not sure the exact height.
Looks like you open the window and you're looking into the brick facade of that building.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's, you know, very close to the property line. I think that's the, something on that.
Would you have a photo or a rendering of the proposed rear? So I see in the plan here, there's doors in the rear proposed, sliding doors that go out to the back of the building, out the back of the building?
Yeah, there's like a storage utility office room on the ground floor. There is just a slider, like a patio door. There's not a lot of space there. There's about 8 feet. We will have sort of the condenser AC units in the back. And then, you know, really what's left over for the yard space in the back there. There is an elevation
So they put a picnic table out there or something, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Rear elevation shown on A4.01 is the view from the back side.
Okay, my question, from the back view there, the people living on the third floor there, how do they get out from upstairs?
The people who live on the upper floor?
Yeah.
There's a,
They only have the one stair there?
yeah, there's a common stair that goes from first floor.
That's the only way out of the second story place.
Correct.
So, so one of the, it's a beautiful building,
Yeah, looks nice.
but one of the questions the chairman often asks when someone's putting in a new structure or a tear down is how does it fit in with the neighbors? Now, it's a little different because you have no neighbor there, but that just kind of doesn't seem like it goes.
Well,
It's really nice looking.
As I mentioned, this is a really unique area, and if you look back at that first exhibit showing the area, if you zoomed out of that, you'd see a lot more residential, single-family homes. This is a very unique area that there's a sort of spotty, small businesses here and there, and maybe 50 years ago it worked, but today, it just doesn't.
But are they
doesn't operate.
ranches or are they?
But there's really a mix. There's a mix of colonials. There's a mix of ranch. It's like Parsippany. I think.
Yeah, but to Mr. Joskowitz's point, this does not correlate with the scale, the aesthetics, or just the general vibe of the entire neighborhood.
It's too nice for that.
It's huge. It's intense.
It's really, in terms of the height, yeah, we are 3 stories, which exceeds the 2-story limit. But in terms of height, we're below the 35-foot limit in actual feet and
Understood.
inches. And I know there's other homes in the area that, they're not necessarily full 3 stories, but they essentially have a garage below and then 2 stories above, very similar to ours. In fact, there's 2 lots right across the street, or two properties, one sort of diagonally cross on corner of Ludlow and Halsey, but on the other corner, it's essentially, as you come around the back, it's got exactly that. It has garage at the lower level and then two stories above that. Same thing, if you go 1 block over on Centerton and Ludlow, and you come around the back, there's a parking driveway and a garage at the sort of lower level, and then you got first floor, second floor above that. So, in terms of the height, like I said, in feet and inches, we're within what's allowed. It's just definition is 3 stories here.
Ask the board to take notice also, and our planner's going to talk about this. The karate studio was subject to an application before this board for improvements for a 2nd floor. That's about 33 feet of a similar design to this application.
Yeah, just to end, I think, this would be an improvement in our eyes. It's an improvement to the site, improvement to the area. What's there, it's been there for a long time. It's run down and really just not functional in today's market. To put a 1,000 square foot retail business or a single family home, it just, I don't know, doesn't work. This is a market that, our client sees as an opportunity to get maybe a young family that, it has a young kid and, they're using the 2 bedrooms and maybe the 3rd bedroom is like an office.
Family with a small kid in that area? Where's he gonna play?
Well,
Let's
to
cut the crap.
to the chairman's point, the only life of grass and trees and nature is being taken away by the previous testimony.
Yeah.
The whole quadrant,
I think
that
that
whole
lot
Halsey
itself is
Road
really
quadrant
small.
is going to be cement or asphalt with this.
Well, I think, again, from the front side, we are trying to soften that a little bit. Right now, it's completely
You got a strip.
asphalt. Yeah, I agree, but it's...
That's it, just a strip.
There's nothing soft about it.
Kudos to your promotional
Yeah.
efforts, but it's a strip.
I have a question. Again, looking at A1, is that a garage on the property?
A1, Where? Oh, in the back?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a small garage in the back.
That's part of this property.
Correct.
What's in the garage now?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's there now. It's just an old garage.
Yeah, and I tell you, it's beautiful, but then we're talking about 3 bedrooms. We got two spaces for each unit. But the construct of it, and again, I go with the vibe, I could see a lot like single people rooming together as opposed to your picture of ma, pa, and baby. And then I'm wondering, okay, in practice, I could see each unit needing 3 spaces, not 2. Where's that overflow going?
Well, I think we're not asking for a parking variance as far as I understand.
Right, it's a busy area. We all know that. We know this area pretty well.
It's a very nicely designed building.
Mm-hmm. Certainly
And
is.
someone just mentioned to me that those 2 decks or porches or whatever should be overlooking the water, not overlooking Halsey Road.
Yeah.
It's out of its environment. I mean, I won't say anything else.
That's all I had for
I
my
have no further
testimony.
questions for this witness.
Any other questions by the board?
Not right now.
Any
First
members
floor,
any members of the public? I'm sorry, what?
Let me confirm this one. The garages, that floor.
The ground level is the garage
Yeah,
level.
like ground level, there's no living space, right?
No.
Okay.
So the garage is under the front part. What's in the back part of the building, on the ground floor then? Is the garage all the way underneath?
Utilities.
It's all the way utilities.
Your neighbors.
In the house, you're saying, or?
Yeah, on the ground floor of that structure, yeah, parking on the front part. What's in the back part? All
There's like a
utilities-
storage utility room in the back,
Storage, okay.
yeah,
That's what I thought, thank you. And that's why those doors are in the back there.
correct.
Got it, okay.
I'm sure you would have put this in, but like, how do you get out in the event of a fire? Like,
It'll be a rear staircase.
There isn't.
There's no
Well,
rear
there
staircase.
might
No,
be.
there isn't, but.
Oh.
I mean,
You probably, I don't know, wouldn't you need one of those emergency?
I would think you need
at
something.
Right.
I mean, normally the bedroom windows are big enough for you to get out of. You better have a rope.
But how do you get to the ground?
You better have one of those rope ladders.
Fire
well,
escape.
Yeah,
Complying with
yeah,
the-
but that's,
No, it would meet all fire codes and building codes.
yeah, I mean, as long as they meet the
fire.
fire codes,
Yeah.
that's not our problem.
Seems odd.
Any other,
Yeah, I mean, right, to Mr. Kaplan's point, it's pretty odd. Right, you'll meet all fire codes, but I find it incredible that
Pretty much
you,
just hop on
it's
the-
not in the design now, right? Like a fire escape in the
No,
back.
you wouldn't need a fire escape. It would meet building codes as is right now.
I'd be nervous living there if that was the only in and out.
Well, that's not our issue.
Yep.
If it is needed, applicant willing to do the staircase behind, if it is required by fire department.
It's a fire
If it's
department.
required by who?
Fire department.
It meets the code.
Yeah, I mean, they
you
said there's
know
a-
what's very interesting about this application? Now that I'm thinking about it. We've had houses in like Lake Parr, primarily in Lake Parr, where the houses and I even remember who the applicant was. It was,
Doesn't matter.
okay, it doesn't matter. The fire department came in and said, this house is too close together.
Mhm.
We can't get a ladder in between those
That's what I was
houses
gonna
to
ask.
get up to the
That's what I was
second
gonna-
floor. And you're telling me what from the edge of the building to the edge of the building is how many feet?
Five.
Where's the fire marshal in this home? Was he out to lunch this week or what? I will not say another word about this application with regard to it until I hear what the fire marshal has to say about the sideline. If he says it's okay, fine. But
This
I
fire
question.
We never respond.
I
Fire
question.
district did respond.
This
Well,
is-
we're
we
gonna
never
ask
Yeah.
him to respond, because I'm concerned about that. Because I don't think that they can efficiently put out a fire on the second floor.
And as zoning members,
And
we
I
should
don't
be
know- I'm not a
concerned,
fireman,
whether we
but-
live there or not.
Well, there's 5 feet between the buildings.
I understand that.
The building is engaged.
The building is
Fireman
what?
walks- The building is engaged. There's a fire in the building.
Yeah,
The fireman walks up to the side of the building.
yeah,
With 5 feet between that building
right.
and the other building. Puts a ladder up.
I don't know if I don't know if he
10
can.
feet.
I don't know, depending on
Is
how
that
high
what
he
a
has to go up that
fireman's gonna
ladder.
do?
I want the fire marshal in that district to tell me that this is okay. I don't want a no answer. I want to know that it's okay. Very
How
simple.
are we gonna compel this answer?
We'll compel it. We'll compel it, or we'll keep going until we find out the answer.
So
Because
you're gonna
there's been
delay
fire
this
people here
application?
before on other applications. Maybe some of the zones in this town, the fire marshal is more concerned than in others. But if we have to, we will get someone to give us an opinion. We'll give a township official to give us an opinion.
I just want to make sure I understand. This application is going to be delayed. The decision is going to be delayed until the fire department, such time that the fire department renders an opinion.
Yes.
Thank
Mm-hmm.
For the safety concern, sorry. But
Okay, safety concern.
You agree?
Yeah, I agree.
So am I had a?
Do so. Well, we're not agreeing to subject to it.
We have no report. A no report is not a report.
That's not the applicant's fault.
I
The
understand
fire
that.
department often does not file reports.
But
The explanation for that, I do not.
Well, we have a
But I-
public duty
I
to,
look at it this way, if we wanted to hear from the engineer didn't file a report, we'd ask for an engineer's
Mhm.
report. We've sent, I don't know how many applicants back saying,
Mhm.
go to the engineer's office and have them come out to your property and take a look and give us a report.
Donald
It's the
Pierce.
same thing.
Donald Pierce.
Mhm.
It was a two-story house in Lake Parsippany, and Donald Pierce has probably built 40 homes in this town. And they had to make some modifications so that there was enough room, and it was more than 5 feet. This was 2 single-family houses. There was no big, question about, it was that he was requiring, I don't remember the exact numbers. We had to come to an agreement. I don't know. If we don't have a report, I think we need a report. Simple as that.
Joe, I think the board's saying it's a safety concern.
subject to
Um,
fire department.
We're not
I don't think the delay would be that.
I don't know how we can say that.
Well, we could vote on it subject to the fire inspector approving it.
Right. We'll take that under.
And we always put in these resolutions subject to all the township officials, approvals and whatnot.
Post-approval. That doesn't hold up signing plans, waiting for somebody to report back on something.
I mean,
Subject to the construction office, subject to
but
the fire inspector.
But
Joe,
Joe, when
I'm
you-
sure your client would want it to be as safe as possible as well.
We're not saying we're being unsafe.
Fire district chief.
You want the fire district chief to render a report. The fire inspector files a report for construction office. That's something separate. It's still subject to that.
Then why have I had
I'm just
fire
trying to-
people here objecting to applications?
Yes.
The biggest
fire
one of all
inspector-
was that, what direction am I looking at? The apartment complex on on Route 80.
I'm not, look, I want to be clear. My only concern is compelling the fire district to file a report. Not what the fire district's going to say, not that they're going to have something over our head. It's compelling them to do that. You don't really have the power to do that. You can ask.
We can
But
ask.
you can't compel. So if they just, for whatever
We will
reason.
okay,
don't
we
follow
will
the-
ask.
You'll ask.
I can't believe they will,
I'm sure there was.
they will deny without,
No, it's,
but
aren't we making- safety
they will not
concerns,
unreasonably
we will ask,
deny us a letter. I think it's for their concern also. What if they have to fight a fire there?
Well, not only that, once this board asks though, if they
That-
said no.
that's
and God
District
forbid there
3,
were a
right?
fire, they'd
That's
be on the
District
hook.
3,
It's gonna
like
stop.
Lake Parsippany.
Yes.
They're not-
Those are good people over there. I know District 3 very well. I've been their
I deal
accountant
with them
for
all the time.
20 years.
They're very good people, they're very dedicated people, they know what they're doing. I'm not saying that, I'm just saying.
All right,
we
let's
have
go
no way
on.
to
Let's go on.
Well, I mean,
The report, I just,
In-
if there's a way
previously-
to get a report.
in previous applications, especially of this scale, we could literally count on the fact that we would see a fire report. So either like somebody's gotten a little lackadaisical over this, but we should see it and we're going to request it because it's historically been included in these packets.
Well, in their defense, everybody's busy. So I don't know what the.
So are we. Mhm.
But we also want to do the right thing, and if the board is concerned about the safety, I think it's incumbent to us to at least try to get an answer. It's only fair.
I
We're
don't
not-
have any problem with that. The problem I have is we're not going to render a decision until such time as they provide a report.
We're not doing a stall tactic. We want an
Well,
answer.
I know that's not your intention, but it could turn into that.
Well, Mr. O'Neill, if we, let's assume that we take under advisement, we say, okay, depending on a report, we'll approve it with that condition. And now the building, you go ahead and start building the building. And now they have to do
No.
something there, huh?
I don't think they can get a building permit.
You can't get a building permit.
They get a building.
You can't get the building permit if you don't comply with the fire comments in the construction office.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So but if there's always the safeguard.
I understand, okay.
Okay. Well, what's the worst that happens? If he says no.
No,
and
the
we're
worst that
gonna
happens
sit
is he
back
says nothing and we don't get a decision. That's the worst of that.
No, if building.
Frankly, I've been there for that.
Here?
Yes, in this town. A long time ago.
Okay, we're not getting anywhere here. You have Mary, you have questions of this witness? Please come forward.
Yes, I do. Dad.
The microphone, Mary.
And just for the record, Mary Puzicki.
You were going to have two patios, open patios.
Need you to
facing
speak up.
Halsey Road. You're going to have two patios facing Halsey Road. Am I
Balconies.
correct?
Those are
Open?
Balconies. Balconies.
Balconies. Okay.
Correct.
Two balconies facing Halsey Road for people to sit on.
Yes.
And I know I live in a bi-level, and I do have a garage underneath my, where I live, my living space, right? And in this particular instance, I think the garages are taking up most of all the downstairs ground floor space. Is that correct?
It takes a good chunk of the first floor, correct?
So really, I'm looking at 3 levels of house. Is that correct?
Yes.
Three levels. And when I look at where the cars are, I do not even see any inkling of a front lawn. So,
Lawn?
huh?
There's no lawn.
She
There's
says
no-
she doesn't see an inkling.
There's no lawn there.
There is no lawn.
There is absolutely no lawn there. That's what I'm saying. And
There's nothing
There's
there
no lawn
now.
there now.
there's
either.
no,
Now? Are you talking about now?
no, now and
Yeah.
in that particular picture.
There's it's just,
What's the
that's
question?
what's there now.
So the impervious surface of that whole area of what you plan to build, plus the driveway, plus it looks like a walkway?
There's a walkway to the
It's a
front door.
walkway. How much of impervious surface are you putting on that lot, percentage-wise?
That was a question for the engineer, so we're gonna have to recall him for that later. Do you have any more questions? Can you answer that, Mr. Corson? Did you?
Yes, I can.
All right, go ahead.
We're proposing, as far as lot coverage, 2,767 square feet. The current lot has 2,233 square feet. So the net change is 534 square feet of increase.
Which is
Can you tell me
1%
that in
impervious coverage.
percentage, please? I don't understand how you're
You
describing
want the
that.
total percentage that has impervious coverage, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
The total percentage of what we're proposing is 70.95%, which is less than what's allowed in the zone, and it's 80%. Is that what you're looking for?
Yep, okay, I appreciate that, thank you. And I think, do you believe that the fire company should be called into this? Because there were occasions where fire Department and District 3 were called in, correct on a house and correct on a piece of property on Parsippany Road. And
Just want to be clear, Ms. Krzycki, the fire department had an opportunity to comment on that. What we're talking about is renewing a request to them to see if they had any comments. We're not resisting comments of the fire department.
so you do feel that there could be a safety issue?
No, we do not feel there's a safety issue.
Okay. Thank you.
Do you want us to talk?
You want to ask a question of this witness, right?
Ma'am, just could you, for the record, could you state your name and address?
She said she guessed.
Oh, okay. My name is Barbara Seaman, and my address is 360 Halsey Road, Seaman. You said Halsey Road is a unique area. Am I right?
This immediate area is
Unique.
unique in terms of the uses, that there's some
It's
businesses
very-
and there's residential.
Right. There's residential, there's business. It has always been that way since I'm here, since 1959.
Excuse me, we don't need a history of the
Okay,
property, we need a
okay.
question, okay?
So my question is, this building is so high, it is better than what Cone Cottage looks like. Can you not maybe put the garage, which would bring it down to the height of the other buildings?
I don't think in real feet, we're higher than much of, because
But I'm
we're
just
at
saying it
35
looks
feet is
very-
allowed in this.
Yes.
zone. We're less than 35 feet.
Yes, but if you look, it just does not fit in there. And somebody who wants to sit on their porch and look at Sullivan's Corner, that's up to them. But my other question to you is, you have 2 parking spots per each floor,
Correct.
and 3 bedrooms each floor.
Yes.
So the husband and wife are gonna need 2 parking spots. And when the other kids that they move in, and let's say they're 17, where are they gonna park? Because you can't park right.
I don't know who's going to live here, but we're meeting the requirements for number of parking spaces for this type of use.
Parking is not
That
a
is for
variance.
housing use.
Right.
Yes.
Excuse me, parking is not a variance request.
Okay.
So we can't deal with that,
This is the first time I'm
okay?
asking questions.
Yeah, very good.
So, okay, that's all I really wanted to ask you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's take a 5-minute break. Okay, next witness?
Well, Mr. Chairman, after consultation with my client and given the discussion of the board, what we would like to do at this time is we would like to request an adjournment to allow for the fire department to come back with any potential comments. We understand that the last application got carried till April. Hopefully that'll be enough time for the fire district to render a comment based upon your representation.
Why don't we hear your planner tonight? I don't understand.
Because I want to hear what the fire district has to say, if anything.
Okay. When can we carry it to?
May 3rd.
May 3rd?
Yes.
We'll grant all necessary extensions through the end of May. We ask the matter be carried to May 3rd without further notice.
Do I have a motion to that effect?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Okay.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Grant the motion to beat it?
Motion to adjourn?
So,
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay.